Hey, I'm golf broadcaster Matt Adams. The updated and expanded second edition of my book, The Golf Round I'll Never Forget, Golf's Biggest Stars Recall Their Finest Moments, is now available. Readers can expect to march with Arnie's Army at the 1960 U.S. Open, relive Jack Nicklaus's remarkable 1986 Masters win, and be amazed by the Tiger Slam. The Golf Round I'll Never Forget, Golf's Biggest Stars Recall Their Finest Moments. Pick it up where fine books are sold, including BarnesandNoble.com and Amazon.com.
Welcome to This Day in Sports History. It's December 18th, and on this day in 1932, the NFL played its first ever playoff game to decide its champion. Between the start of the NFL in 1920 through 1931, the champion of the league was decided by winning percentage. There weren't any playoff games or extension of the schedule past the regular season. But in 1932, the Chicago Bears and the Portsmouth Spartans, the team that would eventually become the Detroit Lions, each had 6 wins and 1 loss. They also must have really enjoyed ties back in those days because the Bears had 6 of them that season, while the Spartans had 4. So instead of having co-champions, the NFL decided to have an impromptu playoff between these two teams to decide the league winner. The game was scheduled to be played outside at Chicago's Wrigley Field, but a huge snowstorm blew into the Windy City and forced the game indoors at Chicago Stadium. But there was a problem. The venue could only accommodate an 80-yard field, so some special rules had to be put in place, the most significant of which was when teams moved inside the 10-yard line, the ball was pushed back 10 yards to simulate a longer field, and field goals were not allowed due to the goalposts having to be pushed forward. These two teams had played twice during the regular season, tying each time, but on this day, Chicago won 9-0 to win its second NFL title. But the result of the game is really secondary. The impact to the league adopting an official championship game the following year, along with a few other rules changes, helped differentiate the pro game from the college game, leading eventually to the establishment of the Super Bowl that we know today. And it all started on this day, 91 years ago. Also on this day in history, in 2017, Kobe Bryant became the first NBA player to have 2 numbers retired by the same team. The Los Angeles Lakers honored Kobe by retiring his number 8 jersey, which he wore from 1997 through 2006, and number 24 jersey, which he wore from 2007 until his retirement in 2016. And in 2022, Argentina beat France in a penalty shootout to win the World Cup. Lionel Messi scored 2 goals and was named man of the match, while Kylian Mbappe scored a hat-trick in the loss. That's all for today. If you have a moment, rate and subscribe and let your sports-crazy friends and family know you found a new podcast they might enjoy. Thanks for listening, and I'll have more tomorrow on This Day in Sports History.
Hey there, sports history fan. This is Arnie Chapman, a.k.a. the Football History Dude, and I hope that you enjoyed this recent episode presented by the Sports History Network and were able to learn some good old-fashioned sports history knowledge nuggets. I started the Sports History Network back in 2020 with the mission to help podcasters find a community of like-minded sports history nerds, as well as helping aspiring podcasters to start their own shows. We have a little bit over 30 shows on the network right now covering all sorts of sports history, but as far as I'm concerned, we're just at the toothpick in the ocean moment, that can't even figure it out because there's so much more coming. We wanted to create the ultimate headquarters for sports yesteryear, starting with Podcast Network and our website, but we're going to continue to move into other mediums as well. And here's the cool part, because we want you to be part of our team. So if you're interested in starting your own podcast, or maybe being a guest on one of our shows, or who knows, maybe even writing an article for us over on the website, seriously, all you got to do is reach out to us on the contact page over at sportshistorynetwork.com. You can be as technologically savvy as a Neanderthal tapping on a stone trying to figure out this whole hieroglyphics thing back in the day. Again, it doesn't matter, because even if you don't understand the whole podcast space, we have a production team that can pretty much help you out with doing everything. All you got to do, head over to sportshistorynetwork.com, head to the contact page, fill it out. That message goes right to me, and I'll reach out to you as soon as I can. But for now, dude, I'm through if you're through.